This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 1442, Why Stock Investors Shouldn't Watch Business TV by Vitaliy Katsenelson of Contrarian And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. This is the show where I read to you from some of the best personal finance blogs on the planet, sometimes a little too enthusiastically. But I can't help it. Money is an incredible resource that we can use to craft the life of our dreams. So thanks for joining me today and every day. And make sure to stick around until the end. In addition to my usual commentary, I also have a pretty cool way you can send in your own personal finance question to me. I'll tell you more about that after the reading. So for now, let's get right to it and start optimizing your life. Why Stock Investors Shouldn't Watch Business TV by Vitaliy Katsenelson of Contrarian. Investors are prone to two opposing but equally debilitating fears: the fear of missing out when times are good and the fear of loss when markets are volatile. These two fears have a zero-sum relationship with rational decisions. The more you're dominated by these fears, the less rational you are. So what can we do as investors to move towards maximum rationality? Here's one piece of advice: turn off the TV. We rarely turn on business TV in our office. Stock market movements throughout the day are completely random. The same actors that are influencing the up and down ticks of individual stocks, actors whose goals and time horizons may have nothing in common with yours, are driving market movements. I feel for TV producers who must provide a continuous narrative to explain this randomness. Business TV presents additional dangers to your rationality. It reprograms you to think about the stock market as a game. In encouraging you to play that game, it puts you at risk of nullifying all the research you've done as you let your time horizon dwindle from years to minutes. It also threatens to strip from you the humility that is so needed in investing. Business TV guests who provide their opinions on stocks have to project an image of infallibility, the opposite of humility. Again, I sympathize with them. They're there to market themselves and their business, and thus they must project the image that they have an IQ of 200, holding forth on every possible topic. You're never going to hear from them the words that are the essence of investing. I don't know. Being unable to admit uncertainty is dangerous because it may cause you to stop thinking about investing in terms of probabilities. If you start thinking that the future has only one path, you may ignore other paths and thus other risks in your portfolio construction. If you tell yourself that you're an expert on every company, then your circle of competence has no boundaries, and your overconfidence may take you to places and into investments where you have no place being. Also, since I don't know is not part of their vocabulary, business TV guests will confidently answer questions that they should never be asked, such as what will the economy and stock market do next? If you have been investing long enough, it is hard not to develop opinions or hunches about what the stock market and economy will do next. However, good money managers work diligently to extinguish these hunches from their investment process because those hunches lack repeatability. If you get the next leg of the stock market or economy right, that's just dumb luck, nothing more and nothing less. Economic and stock market behavior, especially in the short term, are very random. God forbid your recent forecasting success goes to your head, because your ability to predict what will come next is not much different from your predicting the next card to be turned up in blackjack. Be an investor, not a forecaster. My colleagues and I used to identify with our self-proclaimed "I am a long-term investor" brethren. However, over time, this phrase has morphed to mean I am a buy and hold and never sell investor. Also, the term long-term investor in our view is a bit redundant since there is no such thing as short-term investing in the stock market. If you are investing in stocks, then your time horizon should automatically be long-term. Otherwise, you're just a trader deceiving yourself into thinking that you're an investor. However, investing is not just about the holding time horizon. The analytical time horizon is just as important. To us, being investors means having an attitude with which we look at stocks and process information. We buy businesses that happen to be listed on public exchanges, but our attitude towards them would not be much different if they were private. We view all news, be it quarterly guidance, whether it's great or disappointing, upgrades or downgrades by analysts, or any headline crossing our screens in the context of one question: how does this impact the value of the business? This perspective is liberating because you start to process the news flow very differently. You develop a resistance to the distractions of the everyday news dump. Quarterly earnings stop being about beating or missing guidance. Ultimately, this simple question, how does it impact the value of the business, filters out 90% of the noise and puts us on a solid investment footing. You just listened to the post titled, Why Stock Investors Shouldn't Watch Business TV by Vitaliy Katsenelson of ContrarianEdge.com. And now, I'm sure you know how the cryptocurrency world can be confusing. But crypto assets could be the best opportunity to build generational wealth since the discovery of oil. Bitcoin has been one of the best performing assets of 2020. So how do you get involved? Check out BitTrust IRA, a great way to diversify your portfolio with new innovative investments. BitTrust IRA helps you add cryptocurrency to your portfolio, both seamlessly and securely. And it's super secure. BitTrust IRA stores your private keys in nuclear bunkers with military-grade encryption. It's easy to use. They have a 24/7 trading platform with no minimum investments and unlimited trades, plus a team to help guide you along the way if you have any questions, and with the lowest trading fees in the industry. Go to BitTrustIRA.com/OFD today to learn more. And for a limited time, BitTrust IRA is waiving the signup fee for OFD listeners, a $50 value. That's BitTrustIRA.com/OFD. BitTrustIRA.com/OFD. And I have that linked in this episode's description. I completely agree with the advice here that you shouldn't watch business news if you want to be a successful investor. Actually, I'd like to take it one step further and suggest that you should just turn off the news altogether. I can't remember the last time I watched the news. And it's not as if I have no idea what's going on in the world, but I trust that the world events I need to know about will come find me rather than me needing to seek them out. Everyone else is reading or watching the news. And because I talk to so many people every day through my work and with close friends, world events continually come up in conversation. Someone will undoubtedly ask me if I've heard of so-and-so scandal or this or that disaster. And based on that verbal headline, I'll decide if I want to do some research and learn more. While this may seem like an unconventional way to get the news, it works well for me. I've taken this approach because I'm careful about what I allow my mind to ingest, just like how I'm considerate of the food I eat. News, whether business or otherwise, is like the junk food of the information age. I much prefer to read books, vetted articles that friends share with me, and listen to podcasts. It's a great way to stay informed and challenge myself intellectually without doing too much damage to my mental health. I also appreciate the sentiment here that the only certainty in investing is uncertainty. I think this also applies to life in general. And the key to be successful in both is to learn to be comfortable with the uncertainty and manage it skillfully through critical thinking. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, we have another great way you can submit your own questions to me directly. If you're listening on Spotify, right there in your app on this episode screen, you should now be able to see my prompt asking if you have a question. Go ahead and reply right there with a question you'd like me to answer here on the show. This is a cool new feature from Spotify, so if you're not listening there, now's the perfect time to check it out. And that will do it for today. Have a great Friday. I'll be back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.